I'm here. It's 7 o'clock. It is October 18th, and we are on main event two of October. And so I am Delilah Bartlett. I talked to you guys earlier this month saying we were having three main events in October where we were really focusing on how you can grow intentionally to have the life and career that you desire. And so I am here as I've committed to be, as I've already given you heads up that I would be, to really walk you through some of the information, knowledge, insight that you need as you're continuing to intentionally build the life and career you desire. So come on in, get comfortable as you come in. You can make sure you got your favorite writing utensil handy. It could be your device, it can be a pen and paper. But I always encourage people that this is an interactive event, meaning that I look forward to your comments, and I look forward to you actually taking some of the things that I'm saying and implementing them in your life so that you can see the change that you're looking to see. So change, I often use the tagline of increase your brand and your bank account. The changes that we talk about in the circles that I'm in, right? They help you with your influence, but they also help you in your pocketbook. They help you in your bank account. They help you in your wallet. They help you in your change or chips or in your bag or whatever you would want to call it. But they help you there. And so come on in. Today we're talking about three areas that tend to deflate people, that tend to be a hurdle or challenge for people. We're talking about overcoming hurdles so that we can take over the life and career that we want. And there are three specific areas that that tend to come into the mindsets of folks that I've talked with, and even myself at some parts of my career, that I want to talk to you about. So, not that we can harp on them and just have a pity party about them, but so that we can give them a label, give them identity, so that then we can identify what it is and strategize on how to overcome it. So this is going to be a fantabulous time. I look forward to you engaging. We are live on Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube. But I do highly encourage everyone here to subscribe to my YouTube channel. That's really where you're going to get all the notifications on how I've gone live. And you can do that. Um, yep, I actually have somebody for that, but I do appreciate your comment. Thank you so much. But what was I saying? Oh, subscribe to YouTube. Subscribe to YouTube, and that's where you get all the notifications and all the great, gooey, juicy things that we have going on. And so, we are going to talk about three specific areas, mindset, really, that we need to kind of identify so that we can shift above it in order to create the life and career that we're looking for. And so, again, so excited that you guys are here. We are on a ride. Earlier this month, we had a live event. This is our second. And then ending the month on the 27th, we are actually having our first dinner and download, which is similar to a lunch and learn. But because I am still actively building and advancing within my career, lunchtime is not a great time for me to go live. And so most things I do are in the evening, hence dinner and download. And during this dinner and download, we're going to talk through two of the laws from the John Maxwell's powerful, invaluable laws of growth, that if you listen and if you tune in and actually do the work, again, another tool that you can put in your toolbox that'll help you create the life and or career that you desire. Why not have it? Why not have it? And so let's get into it. Let's get into it. You guys often hear me say, let's get big, right? As we grow, we're getting bigger and bigger, within our influence, within our bank account, within our brand, and our stature, just getting bigger. So let's go ahead and get big. So there were three areas I wanted to talk about. And I made this post a couple days ago just on, have you ever been in a conversation with people and the way they're talking is, maybe they feel like they don't have the education to make the move that they want to make, or they don't have the experience to make the move that they want to make, or, oh my gosh, if I was like that person and everybody knew my name, I don't have the exposure to make the move that I want to make. And I believe we all have either been in this room talking with people who are talking this way, or if you're like me, you may even have been the person who was making these comments, right? For me, most of you guys know my biggest hurdle, perceived hurdle, or hurdle that I had to overcome was related to education, because a lot of people around me had 4-year degrees and or master's or doctorate, right, and different degrees of education. And I saw that as a hurdle because I didn't possess the same thing. But here we are, 25, almost 25 years. December 5th, 20, I'm sorry, December 1st will be my 25th anniversary with my organization. Almost 25 years later, and here I am at the top 1% of the organization. So what I saw was a hurdle, was just a different way, a different starting point for me to accomplish similar and or more grand goals than some of the people who possess things that I thought I should have. And so I had this conversation with you guys about, hey, folks are saying things that they don't have, and we're so focused on the things that we don't have, and the things that we're lacking, that we miss all of the abundance of things that we have. So I want to talk to you from that perspective of really being able to, one, we talked about 3 things you want to do. We want to identify those 3 things, big areas that people tend to get hung up on, that I'm going to help you move beyond. We're gonna identify them, and then 2, we're gonna strategize and talk about how we can move beyond those hurdles, those things, because a hurdle is not a wall, right? A hurdle is not a wall. A hurdle is something, right? If you follow me on social media, you'll see the picture I used was of women who are jumping hurdles as a sport. It's not a wall. It's something that in the path possesses or poses an obstacle, but if we clear it, we still continue to progress on. And so these are 3 things, 3 areas that can present themselves as hurdles, things that shouldn't stop you, that but may kind of trip you up a little bit, that we need to get beyond. The first hurdle that comes up for people is education. Education. And we already know part of my brand is, no degree, no shame. I am one of the 75% of working professionals that do not possess a 4-year degree, but I'm also in another category counted as one of the top 1% of my organization. Like, so it's possible for both. It's possible that you don't have what other people have, but still you can achieve great measures within your organization or within your business. And so when I talk about education, a couple of things that came up for me was, we have to think about a degree means you have a degree of information in a certain area, right? You've gone to school, you have a certain knowledge level, you possess certain information in a specific area. Yes, they're general education, but when you get down to it, when you think about a degree, you have a major. And so the things that you're learning, right, it can be accounting, it can be business, it can be teaching, it can be nursing, but the things that you're learning are related to this major. Think about it. Many people don't even operate in their major. The people who, think about this, the people who hold degrees, a lot of them, the accountants aren't, and well, the accountants maybe, accounting, that may be the wrong thing, but some of the psychology majors, or some of the arts majors, right? They're not operating in their art. They have a degree of information in that area. They have a degree of information in that area, but they're actually operating in a totally different area. So what that means is, even though they have that 4-year degree, and again, there's some general information that they've learned, right? So literature, math, things of that nature. But where their degree, where their focus really has been over the 4-year or 6-year period, is in a specific area. And sometimes there's a significant portion. Oh, look at that, accounting as well. There's a significant portion of people who are actually operating in an area that they're not degreed in, meaning they too have had to learn, right, language, information, process about an area that they did not go to school for. Right. And I'm not saying that, I'm all down for it. I want to support everybody who has chosen to go to school. I've encouraged my children as well, just like any other great parent would do. But my point to you is that even people with degrees often have to learn new language, new information in order to be successful in their jobs. So I want you, if your hurdle is education because you do not possess a 4-year degree, I want you to think about the person sitting next to you that does possess a 4-year degree may very well not possess a degree in the department that you work, meaning they have to have the same level of learning that you have to have about this specific department and organization. And so don't allow that to be a hurdle. Know that you're capable. Know that you're capable of learning. Know that I'm going to show this because that just speaks profoundly to me, right? Nope, I'm an accounting major and not operating in it, right? Doing something that's different that you've had to learn outside of the traditional walls of a school. But if this is your hurdle, know that you can continue to learn. You're not the only one out here learning. If you have gotten this far, right, you're out living life. You're running a family. I always consider families businesses, right, because you have structure, you have process, you have roles and responsibilities, you have a budget. Like if you're in a family and you're leading a family, or if you're leading your own household, you are running a small business, and so you're capable of learning different things. So when you're going for that job, here's what I want you to do. When you're looking at that job and it says it requires a college degree and you don't have it, I want you to apply for it anyway. I want you to apply for it anyway. The worst thing that can happen is that you don't get an interview or they tell you you can't get the job. You're not going to lose your life. Nobody's going to go out on a banner and blast your name somewhere saying, oh, Delilah went for this job and she did not get it. Guess what? You're just going to simply be where you were before and not have the job. Go for it. One of the things that got me beyond this hurdle, and I hope this is going to help you, listen carefully. If someone posts a job, let's say someone posts a job, looking for a job, looking for candidates for a job, and 10 candidates apply for the job. The job says that a bachelor's in whatever field is required. 10 candidates apply. Not one of the 10 candidates has a degree. Let's just say, not one. Let's say maybe 8 don't have a degree and 2 have a degree that's not related to the area in which they're applying for. But because you didn't even put your name in the hat, there's no way for you to be considered. And guess what? Odds are that job is going to go to one of the people who also do not have a degree. It's just going to happen that way. And so I encourage you, the next time you see that job and you know you have a passion and you have those core, what we'll call just general knowledge, right? You have that core general knowledge that's transferable from area to area, right? You know how to lead, you know how to think critically. You know how to problem solve. I mean, again, anybody in a family knows how to solve problems. Odds are this content, this information, this skill set, you can actually learn that. And so don't sell yourself short. Apply for the job. I actually wrote down, don't get so caught up not having the technical experience. Odds are whoever gets the job will have a degree of learning, only a degree of learning that they need to accomplish it as well. And so go for the job. I also wrote, if anyone is a perfect fit for a role, the role won't provide them much growth and they should seek a different role. So don't be thinking, don't think that, oh, I need everything. So I don't have all these boxes checked off. Honestly, if someone has all the boxes checked off, then they probably need to be applying for the job of the person who actually posted the job and not the job itself. So this thing about education, do not allow it to be a hurdle for you. And if it has been, your next action item, here's your takeaway: apply for the job. I want to see you apply for the job. I want to hear about you applying for the job. Yeah, overqualified. A lot of people. Courage equals confidence. And sometimes it's just having the courage of submitting your name. Again, nobody's going to put your name on a banner that says, oh, Delilah applied for the job and didn't get it. Nobody's going to like chop your wrist off because you did. Like none of that is that. You're going to have the courage of possibly being told no. Sometimes rejection is halting us from having the life and career that we want. And so have the courage to put your name out there. And as you're stepping out in courage, the courage is going to help you build your confidence. These moments and acts of courage are going to help you build your confidence, which is going to make you bolder, which is going to make you bigger into stepping into some of these roles that you're really aspiring to be in. That is education. So that's education. Experience. Going into experience. And so experience is kind of teetering a little bit, crossing over a little bit with education. Experience is also a hurdle. These are 3 E's, right? So let's just say them out loud up front: education, experience, and exposure. We just talked about education and how you don't need a degree to do everything that you're trying to do. You're very smart and you're very capable of learning the things that you need to learn. When we talk about experience, here is where those core skills really come into play. And so, if you have experience on engaging with teams, building teams, or being a productive member of a team, if you have experience in writing emails and having communication with people face to face, communication with folks, if you have experience on leading projects or again being a part of the team or solving problems, a lot of the experience you need is going to be a lot of the experience you have is going to be transferable over into another role. Facebook user, I'm loving you. Your name is not coming up, but you are giving me so much rhythm, and I truly appreciate you for being engaged. It just says Facebook user. If you're there, if you could share your name, I'd love to shout you out. But in the area of experience, let me be clear on what I'm saying. You have skill sets that are transferable. And so here's another area where people look at like jobs and descriptions of jobs and say, oh, they're looking for someone. Oh, hey, Yolanda. Oh, thanks for joining. Um, they're looking for someone with 20 years of experience in XYZ. Okay, so if you're looking for experience in a certain area, if I have enough experience or areas of, if I have enough experience in certain areas and I believe they're transferable, guess what? I'm going for it. Guess what? You're going to have to tell me no. I'm not going to tell myself no. I am going to cross this hurdle of experience that tells me that I cannot because have not checked all the boxes, and I'm going to go for it. Now, I do want to level set your expectations and your thinking. Like if you're trying to go for a job that like only 10 people in the world have, I want to say high five and kudos to you, go for it, but also be realistic with yourself on what you can and cannot do. Take what you can do, maybe elevate it by 20% and let that be a range of what you do. Like even though I'm great and I know I'm one of the dopest leaders in the world, if they call me to be an astronaut, I would say, yeah, nah. The skills that I have are not transferable to being an astronaut. I know that's not my lane. But things that are clearly or somewhat in a bandwidth and a spectrum of where I operate and I desire to do them, I'm going for them. So I'm going to tell you, like, I have had at least 8 jobs in my organization. All of them have really been areas where I've not checked every box. I've gone and I've been an IT business analyst knowing nothing about IT. I've gone and operated in systems that I didn't have any exposure to before I got in the job. I've designed products that I had no idea even what it looked like to have a spec for a product being built. I've operated in budgets before I really understood what a P&L really was about. I mean, I've been in areas, I ran catering organizations, not having any clue what the heck went into food safety and all the things that go on around that. But I show up in places with the understanding that I'm smart and capable enough to learn, even with my GED, my grace and my grit that has gotten me to the top 1% of my organization. Even with that, I'm smart enough to continue to learn and actually build the technical side of what's needed to succeed in this area. Why? Because I'm just great like that. And so are you. And so are you. And that's the point. I can talk about how great I am. I know it. But so are you. And that's what I know as well. And so when jobs are looking for experience, second hurdle, the experience, don't get so caught up on, I don't have all of that. Again, there may be other people in the pool of candidates who also don't possess it. But if you do not put your own name in, you will never be counted. And you said it, Pam, transferable skills. You have those. Do a catalog and inventory of the things that you are cold at, the things that you knock out the park, the things that you kind of do on autopilot, but with a little bit of focus and intention, you do above the average of everybody around you, or at least where everybody is operating. Inventory that and see where you are, and then see and then see how that aligns with the jobs that you are seeking. Um, I'm looking at Shani's comment. I just left 19 years with a customer. Oh, wow, with the company. Oh, and I know who you were working for. I remember this from years back. And sometimes you just need to. Sometimes you just need to. I need to understand my value and my worth. The only way that I can add value to others is first by adding value to myself. And the only way I can add value to myself is by knowing that I am valuable and that I deserve to have value added to me. And so you took a very courageous step, Shani, and you stepped out to say, hey, I am valuable and I need to find a way to add value to myself. And so I really, really commend you for that. Because as you continue to journey out, and everybody that's listening here and everybody that'll catch it on the replay, if you have skills that are transferable, but you don't necessarily have all the technical skills, you have a shot. And so just clear that hurdle, right? We've been talking in the analogy of running like in track and clearing hurdles. So this hurdle, this next hurdle that came up was experience. So clear that hurdle when experience comes up and says, but you don't have all of that. Just tell experience, I may not need all of that, so I'm going to go for it. So experience is another area that came up. And the note I had here was, let your courage substitute for your experience. Let your courage, right, along with those transferable skills that we're talking about, couple it with your courage and let that propel you forward. And then as that creates momentum, then right along that courage, it'll build confidence and it'll build what you need for your life and your future. Again, building bank accounts and brands, right? Influence and income, getting real big, right? For yourself, your family, your community, so that you can change the trajectory of not only your family, your community, but the world that you serve as well. Let's go through the third hurdle. So we had 3 hurdles that we really wanted to talk about. How do we give them names? And then the steps that we take to overcome them. We talked about education. The thing that you're going to do is look at that resume and make sure it's built up, but also look at that job. And when it asks for a degree and you don't have one, the thing that you're going to do there is not count yourself out. The thing you're going to do there is add all the greatness that you've accomplished on your resume, and you're going to submit it for consideration. You are not going to count yourself out because you don't have a degree. Experience, you're going to let your courage substitute for your experience. You're going to identify and catalog all the great skills, transferable skills that you have. You're going to see where you stand out and where you're above average, and you're just going to really kind of call yourself dope in the areas where you're dope, and you're not going to shy away from it. And you're going to see how that pairs up. You're going to see how that pairs up with jobs that you're looking for, where you may not check all the boxes, but you know you got this core thing over here that's pretty freaking dope and it's better than most people that show up for it, and you're going to go for it. And so the whole thing here is that we're going for it. Apply for the job anyway. Exactly. I'm not going to tell myself no. You're going to have to tell me no. If you don't want Delilah, it won't be Delilah's voice talking to her. And so that's a huge thing, because you are the most important person that talks to you. The voice that you hear to yourself telling you can't, or you're not capable, or you're not able, or you're missing this, all this lack stuff, like switch that around and start talking to yourself about this inventory, right? Because you're going to create a list of all the amazing things that you do. Because the most important person that talks to you is you. And so you need to have a better self-talk. You need to have a better way to communicate with yourself about greatness in a way that speaks in your abundance and not from lack, right? And not from lack. The third hurdle that we are coming up against, that we can clear and will move beyond, exposure. And so when I talk about exposure, I talk about when we're in rooms and we say things like, well, that's not available to me because I'm not in the right circles, or those people know those other people, right? Those people know those other people. And, while what I wrote down is, while networks and sponsors are very helpful, they are not always showstoppers. One thing people like to use as an excuse on not moving forward is not knowing the right people. Again, there's value to knowing the right people. I will never be one to tell you don't network, don't work to have somebody say your name when you're not in the room. All of that stuff does provide value, but they're not showstoppers to where you should not be going for jobs, or you not being seen for jobs. Let your results, let your results build your reputation. As you are producing results, I'm going to read this and then we're going to talk about it. As you are producing results, identifying organizational pain points and creating solutions, people will not be able to deny your name. Listen, if you show up at work tomorrow, but first we have to get over the fact of Who shot John, and all the stories and dramas that like to show up at work, and decide that we're going into work in order to create a name and a brand for ourselves. We're not going to be average. You've heard me talk about the bell curve, how most people show up in the middle on average. The people to the left are below average, and then the people to the right are the few that are going above and beyond. You want to operate to the right. So make it up in your mind that no matter what goes down at work, you want to operate to the right. Why? Because you're creating your own exposure. You're not waiting for somebody to tell somebody about somebody. You're creating your own exposure. If you were to show up at work tomorrow, you were to identify two of the top 2 pain points plaguing your department. You were to then work through those pain points, one of them with a viable solution that talked through what could be done, when it could be done, how it could be done, and the results that it would drive. And then you will, I would love this. Oh, Yolanda, you're giving me life. But you would identify what needed to be done, and then you would do it, and then you would have measurable results, not just to add to your resume, but then for people to not be able to deny that Delilah made this difference. Delilah made this solution. Delilah delivered $500,000 to the bottom line by creating a new process. Delilah delivered 10% savings and waste through a new process. Delilah delivered X by Y. Like that's undeniable. People will then start to talk about your results, right? Because you're putting them up. And people, if you're making your boss look good or your organization look good, people are going to be asking your boss or your organization, hey, what's going on in your line of business A and your line of business B? Oh, well, we're doing X, Y, Z. Oh, well, how are you doing that? Oh, Delilah is helping us with da 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 da. You are forcing people to talk to you through the results you deliver. Let me tell you up front, it will not happen through mediocrity. It will not happen through being average. It will not happen by sitting back waiting on somebody to pick up your name and you feel shady because they're talking about somebody else, but you're not giving anybody something to talk about. I'm just going to keep it real with you. I'm going to keep it real with you. It's a thing when you're moving from an underdog situation to an overcomer situation, right? I mean, because you are moving into an overcomer situation. You might be coming from an underdog position, but as you're creating results, undeniable results, people will have to talk about what you're doing and give your name space and lights in order to be seen. Pam says it's easy to get lax in a job, but we have to be a solution to get that exposure. Thank you, ma'am. I appreciate you for making that comment, because I'll tell you, like, I've been in jobs literally on a rock in the middle of an ocean, literally on a rock in the middle of the ocean. And some people were like, you got to come from over there, Delilah, because people are going to forget that you're over there, going to forget you're over there, and you'll be stalled out. And you'll be stalled out. And one of the VPs in my organization that really, really, really took kind of a shine to me, he left the organization. And I'm talking to you from a position that I've been in. And in my mind, I'm like, what am I going to do? He's gone. Like, he was the one directing my future somehow. And then once I realized all I have to do is continue to do what I've done, continue to put up numbers, continue to put up results, continue to turn organizations around, continue to develop leaders, continue to speak life into situations, continue to just be me, right? And that was one of the places that I learned that I did not need permission to lead. I just change everything and do what I think is best and make sure it's presentable and people understand the end result and how they benefit from the things I'm doing. That got me off the rock. It wasn't the VP who put me there, right? Who I thought put me there that was going to get me off the rock. That got me off the results got me off the rock. The results said we have to find a position for her because she's an up and coming leader. She continues, no matter where you put her, she continues to operate. And that's what they're going to say about you. When you're done looking around at why Sue got X and you didn't, and you're more focused on what pain point am I going to solve for this organization so I can create results that are undeniable with my name attached to it, then you'll see what you're looking to see. And so the 3 hurdles that like to come up with us: education, experience, and exposure. There are ways to get over these. Education, go for it anyway. Go for it anyway. I believe in you. I believe you're great. If you don't believe you're great, figure out why you don't believe you're great and close that gap. You're great, apply for the job. Experience, catalog what great general skills, transferable skills that you have, and not even good. Those areas where you actually, if you can do it, put your mind into it. If you were to put your mind into it and your intention into it, those areas where you're really great, and see how that lines up for the jobs that you want, where you may not possess the technical skills, but you got enough transferable skills and you're a beast at some of those transferable skills, and go for those jobs. And lastly, exposure. Put a shine on your own self. Create your own exposure by delivering results, tangible results, measurable results that the organization cannot deny, and attach your name to it. I promise you, these items, once you clear these hurdles, once you just move beyond these things that have kind of stalled you. Again, when we started, I said a hurdle is not a wall, it's merely an obstacle, and we can overcome obstacles. Once you're clearing these obstacles, the life, the career, the brand, the bank account, the influence, the income that you want is at the palm of your hand. Trust me. I love to tell my story. You guys know I do, on how a girl with a GED showed up 25 years ago to an organization making $6.35 an hour to being the top 1% of the organization without a 4-year degree. I'm telling you things that I've done. I'm not telling you theory, things that I think can help you. I'm telling you things I've done. And it has been proven, according to my bank account, according to my brand, according to my influence and my income, it's proven that it works. And I believe you can replicate it. Did you guys get something out of this? I'm really coming to provide value. I believe that success is becoming the best version of myself to make sure that you're able to become the best version of yourself. And I do that by sharing. I do that by sharing. I do that by building solutions, right? And so whenever it becomes, oh, Delilah's out here in front of millions of people, it will be intentional, because I'm continuing to hone in my craft. I'm continuing to build it. I'm continuing, and it's continuing to be driven by the desire to help others around me. Oh, I love it. Thank you, Yolanda. Awesome. Awesome. And so this has been good. Anytime I get to chat with you guys is it's great for me. I do want to just pause. Any questions? Do you guys have any questions? Anything around leadership? Anything around education, experience, or exposure that we want to talk about? And while you put those questions or comments into the chat, I do want to remind you guys that on October 27th, I am hosting my first dinner and download. If you want to liken it to like a lunch and learn where people come and share content and information. But this is dinner and download, again, because my regular job, where I am still climbing the ladder and doing great and fantastic work, I don't get to come talk to you guys around lunchtime. So we're going to do a dinner and download series. I may actually brand this and trademark it, dinner and download, where I'll be coming to share two of, I have the book here somewhere. Let me share the book with you. Yep, it's there's a copy back here. John Maxwell's 15 Laws, Invaluable Laws of Growth. Phenomenal. I've now read it twice. It has principles in here that I've been living for a while, and it has new great. Oh yes, awesome. Oh, awesome. It has new great insights as well, and so I'll be hosting a dinner and download on the 27th of October at 7 p.m. You do want to go ahead and register. DelilahBartlett.com/events. You want to register. If you register, I will be giving away a prize. But if you register today or tomorrow, let's say by end of day tomorrow on the 19th, all the registrations that I have on the 19th will go in for even a second bonus prize. In this 15 Invaluable Laws of Growth, it gives, same thing we're talking about today, names for things that we've been struggling with, strategy, and next steps on how to get beyond them, like handing you the tools to continue to build who you are becoming, so that then you can do the same for everything and everybody around you. So that's on this 27th. It's complimentary. It is going to be powerful. Again, I'm going to put it here in the comments, www.DelilahBartlett.com/events. is where you can register. There's a Zoom link. This will be happening via Zoom. Registration is required. It's behind the scenes. It's not content that I'm gonna make available on live. You're gonna have to be, if you want it, you gotta come get it. If you want it, you gotta come get it. You're gonna have to be intentional on, I want more because I want more. I want more because I want more. No TV program, no other extracurricular activity is more important than me providing value to myself, me intentionally growing myself, me getting the tools and resources that I need to build the life that I want on purpose. I am not just going to sit here idly by and wait for somebody to roll up and be like, hey, here's something that might help you out. I'm going to go get what's available. And so on the 27th of October, the first ever dinner and download ever is going to be happening. And I really, really encourage you to be in the virtual room. So be sure to sign up. There'll be an overall giveaway for everybody who signs up and attends. And there'll be a special giveaway for those who sign up by the 19th, because intention deserves a reward. Quick action deserves a reward. There'll be an additional giveaway, a consideration giveaway for those who sign up by the 19th and who also attend. And so after the 27th, I'll be, of course, picking those folks, because you need to both register and attend to be considered. Because I believe in you and I believe in what I'm sharing with you guys, and it's proven to work. The things that I've shared on my own have been proven to work in my life. And of course, John Maxwell, if you are not familiar, right, over 50 years in leadership, like the godfather of leadership, proven stuff over here as well. So come get it and let's just get big. All right. Okay. Very good information, motivational and practical things to do. Pam, thank you so much for saying that. It's so important to me that it's not just theory and it's like, oh, huff and puff and go have a great day. No, information, step, step, step. And then it's on you. And then it's on you. It's so important to me that you pick up on that. They're practical steps. They're practical steps on what to do next. So go ahead and sign up, guys. Visit DelilahBartlett.com/events right after this live. There's no reason to procrastinate other than not being intentional about what you want to do. And sign up, and we will get together on the 27th. Until then, subscribe to my YouTube channel, Delilah's Downloads, because sometimes I'm dropping little things there, and you're missing out. I thank you guys so much for being here and engaging. I look forward to seeing the exponential and expedient growth on your life through your hands, through your voice, through the things that you're using to create your growth. And I'm so honored to be able to support you on your journey in doing so. Take care, and I will talk with you. Oh, blessings, Denise. I'll talk with you soon. Take care, everyone. Again, DelilahBartlett.com/events to register for the first ever dinner and download that's looking to arm you with 2 of John Maxwell's invaluable steps to growth. I'll talk to you soon. Bye for now.